Hi all. I'm Brian. This is Reggie. This is R&B Talks.
R&B Talks.
What's up, Reggie?
Well, Christmas is done gone.
It is, isn't it? How was yours?
It's good, brother. Nice. And unlike other episodes we've had, it wasn't shite. Pretty
yes.
all right.
Yeah, we had good response to our Christmas episode. I
But well,
it.
you know.
Had a little more rattle on Facebook than normal, right? Like a lot of people who liked the episode and thought it was funny. You know what's weird?
Okay, hold on. But you just got to wonder, though, if some of these people are just like, ooh, they said Merry Christmas, so we'll just say it back. Like, don't watch anything or don't click on the link.
Yeah, but I don't think somebody would go, it was really funny and not at least watch some of it.
But that was only one comment.
That's okay, though. That's one person who tuned in and watched the sode, man. Like, gotta sprinkle the love, man. Okay, so in case anybody hasn't noticed, and Reggie and my dynamic is Reggie is the realist and I am the optimist amongst the two of us.
Word.
I think everybody watches our episodes. Reggie thinks 8 people watch but that's okay, because we're going to get more and new and exciting people watching our episodes this coming year, right?
Indeed we will. All right, so look, one thing.
Okay.
And I just had a spark of thought that me and my wife were talking about before this episode, but I thought, but you know what? That's something I'm going to renewing vows. Where you at with this?
All right, look, dude. All right, I do think there is a relevance for it, and here's why I say that. If you, like you or I, we have good relationships with our wives, and we do our best to be good husbands. We're not always great, but we always try to do the right thing, right?
Okay.
Now, let's say you have a relationship that's gone through some serious tumult, and there's some problems and some things that went on, and you guys are trying to rebuild your relationship. I could maybe see recommitting in that way if that was the case. But in 8 out of 10, probably 9 out of 10 cases, no, we're good.
I think it's stupid and it's bullshit.
Optimist, realist. Okay.
Happy 2023. Right. Here we come 24, baby.
All right. Tell me why you think it is bullshit talking.
If you take a vow, did you put an expiration date on that freaking vow? Did you say, look, I'm only going to vow to marry my wife for 10 to 12 years, and then we'll see how it goes, and we'll renew them if we feel like it?
Well,
I know where you're going. Hold on. I know where you're going. You talked. My turn.
Okay. All right. Go.
Look, man, it's like, I get if you have issues, because every couple has things that go on or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, part of the vow is to like stick with them through this through the nonsense, through the drama, through the trauma, through all of that stuff. Yeah. So, well, if you come out of it and you're like, hey, let's really make our marriage something else after all this nonsense, then you're fulfilling the original vow. There's no reason to have now. If you're here's what I really think it's, and what I see most, like you said, 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's like these rich bastards who just like, oh, let's have a big party and we'll just have like, oh, we could have everybody at the ballroom, and we could have the champagne and the Cheviot, it'd be gold. You know, that's what I see that crap as, right? It's like, oh.
I think you've sat around and thought about that a bit. My response would be 9 out of 10 times it's about fulfilling an egotistical part of yourself that is unnecessary.
Savior.
Well, I'm going to go to Flat Blue and on the ceremony. No,
What
okay.
if Chef Fibrille come? How many guests you, darling? Let's limit it to 3,000 this time.
We'll have a small, quaint wedding of 5,500.
By the way, I've never been to any of that kind of party. So
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, you're that dude with the beard. Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
Dude, they ain't nobody inviting you and me to their wedding. And if they do invite us, they know what's happening.
Yeah, they know what's up.
They're aware. I would say that it's barely about a stroking the ego in 9 out of 10 cases. Or wanting to, as my grandfather would say, keep up with them Joneses.
You know what? I can think of one legitimate renewing.
All right,
of your
lay it out
vows.
there, dude. You know you're about to unravel your whole argument, right?
No.
Okay.
I still say a vow is a vow.
Okay. I agree with that.
However, if you secularly defined your marriage and then you become Christ followers,
Okay, that
I can
okay.
see where you would renew the vows under the specific definition of marriage for
Legit, man.
the
I'm with
biblical
you
theology.
On that. I'm with you on that. I feel like that's legit.
But if you already are a Christian, you've been married as a Christian. If you don't know, there is no reason to renew your vow at whatsoever. Now, there's every reason to maybe take a time to like go back and like talk to your spouse about like, okay, look, let's put some more effort into it. Let's start. I think we can turn this around or whatever. Fine. But to just have this whole ceremony crap and say you're renewing your vow, I think is just idiotic, and it takes away from the original one.
I think something that you said in there though makes sense though, right? Like if my wife and I are having issues, if her and I sit down in the privacy of our own home and look at each other and commit to retuning things to solve that issue, that isn't. I mean, that's fine. But like for me, and if you ever look at, if you ever watch these like vow renewal things, man, they're just over the top. Like they're not necessary. But I stand by what I said. If you've been, in a marriage and this marriage has some serious issues and you want to recommit, it'd be different if it was like, well, we're going to call the minister and we're just going to meet at the church and it's just going to be us two and the minister. That's a different kind of thing, right? If you feel like that's necessary or if you feel like that's going to help solve an issue. But if it's just about, well, I want everybody to think that my marriage is special, that would beg a question. And the question would be, what part of your marriage are you not happy with that you need other people to see or tell you how beautiful your marriage is and how happy it is? You should know your wife well enough and know your condition well enough to know when something's bad or when something's good, right? Unless you're just an idiot.
I'm just saying, like, you don't need a vow. I guess this is the problem I have with calling it
vows,
renewable vows.
Gotcha.
Okay, no, you don't. There's no renewing of that. There's no recommitting of that. You've already said this vow. That's not it
for sure.
Now, if you want to say we're marriage of importance, or I don't know, something else besides this just asinine. You've already made a vow.
Yeah,
vows aren't just something you just poof. So anyway, that's just an aside.
I find it great that you use the word poof.
Poof.
But
I have girls, man, so I use a lot.
Well,
of
you
words.
gotta watch it, man. You gotta watch it. Like I slipped in front of my son the other day and used the ASS word.
Dude, I use all kinds of words all the time.
I try not to, and here's why.
I do too, but I'm just saying, look, it's like I've had to accept my vernacular.
Well, for me, like I wrote, like, all right, so let's put this out there. I grew up in a house where cursing was an art form.
Right. Okay.
Like my grandfather could lace together expletives like a seamstress creating a dress. Like it's like he knew how to, and I'm talking in the most creative ways possible.
I hear you.
And I, self-professingly, was pretty good at it myself. But I don't want that to be my son's go-to, right? And I'm very aware of that. And my wife will tell you I probably curse more than I should. I'll tell you I curse more than I should.
Well,
most of the time I curse when I'm mad. Right?
I do try not to, man. I mean, I'll say that. I try not to, but, and I mean, even, I'll tell you this, dude, like if I'm really up mad though, I try. And even when I'm mad, I get upset with myself because I'm like all fired up and I'll drop an F-bomb or some crap like that. And
I hear you.
And then I'm like, and then later on, I'm just like hitting myself. Even right when I'm saying that, I'm like, you dumbass, what are you doing? I'm cussing at myself.
You curse at yourself for cursing?
I cuss at myself more than anything. Like, you know, I may not say all those curse words like out and loud, but I tell you what, when I'm thinking, it's all curse words. Yeah. Like it's just
like it's flowing together like a tapestry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh yeah. You know, when I'm praying sometimes, like I try not to cuss in my prayers, but I'm real when I pray, dude. Like,
you should be.
I'm like, I don't call God like brother or bro or, you know, dude or, you know, none of that shit. Cause he's
Jesus, bruh.
I mean, come on. But it's like, I'm really talking to him like I would talk to anybody else.
Oh yeah.
So like, you know, I've laid down some stuff like that, but it's like reverent. You should be like, you know, beyond that. But
dude, I won't lie to you. Me and God have had it out a few times.
Oh yeah. Well, look, you have
like
to.
I've said some stuff to him that I wouldn't say to other people because I was angry, but I'm of the opinion that he already knows. So if I try to cover it up, then he's going to know I'm not giving him exactly how I feel.
Right.
So sometimes you just got to let it fly.
You do.
You know, sometimes you just got to let the Lord know how mad you are, and then he puts you in your place. So, but anyway.
Like, look, so before we get into things, let's have a word from
our sponsor.
Oh. Roll a clip. Okay. Are you a small business or solo entrepreneur looking for more of a presence online? Technology is ever changing, and with more and more people spending most of their time on screens, it's important to have your brand out and about, getting the most exposure possible. Worried about not having a big budget for website design or social media?
At Edwards Managed Technology Computer Consulting, we cater to every business or solo entrepreneur's individual needs to come up with a plan that works for your product and your wallet. Interested in learning about how we can manage your online presence so that you can spend your time doing what you love to do instead? Visit www.emtcc.net to make an appointment or give us a call at 1-888-551-2770. Mention R&B Talks for 10% off your appointment. Remote and on-site options available. And we're back. And Reggie and one of his many pipes. One of his many fantastic pipes.
You know what's funny is about the pipes I have right now, right? Like when I first started pipes, it was like I bought my first pipe when I was 18 years old, and I didn't know what I was buying. Didn't even care. The guy was just like, I bought one from like Walgreens or something, but didn't know how to use it. And I lost it, so I went to Kaiser's in New Albany, and I was like, I want a pipe, and he's like, I like this one. He was trying to explain to me what it was. I didn't understand a damn thing what he was saying. And so I kind of used it off and on. and then I, you know, it was like, it wasn't really a thing because I liked cigars mostly. And then I would smoke a pipe here and there. And then I got another pipe that was like a cheapy kind of pipe. Smoked it here and there. And then like, and somewhere along the way, and I don't remember even when this was, it was probably like a decade ago, I'd say. It was like when I said, you know what? I wonder if there's like pipe stuff online and like I can find some other tobaccos and stuff or something, right? And what do you know? Of course there was. And I was like, holy crap, there's like a lot. So I didn't have to like, I say I've been smoking a pipe for like, 20 years or so, right? But really only a decade I've been like really into the hobby.
Really deep into
like
it.
Like a enthusiast level, right?
And let me be clear. When Reggie says enthusiast level, Reggie once said to me, Brian, I don't have that many pipes. And then 86 pipes fell out of the ceiling onto my head. He has more pipes than any human I've ever seen. He is a pipe enthusiast that other pipe enthusiasts model themselves after.
Well, that's not the case though. See, usually this is what you'll find. Like you got some old guys out there who have like 3 pipes they've had forever. They smoke the same tobacco and that's all they got. But there's a lot of guys who are pipe dudes who like, they have a cellar of tobaccos. They have like like cabinets full of pipes and stuff. It's not uncommon.
Do they have like display cases?
Yep.
Dude, now, if I come in here and you got a display case.
Oh no, dude, I would have already had one. Trust me. But see the thing, but I always like, well, do I get a display case or do I get a pipe? I'm gonna get a pipe.
Okay. All right. I hear you.
Yeah, and the pipes have gotten a lot more expensive though, dude. I mean, like I start off with like, you can find good, okay pipes for like, $30-$40 or whatever. You spend like $100, and you get a couple of those. But not that I wouldn't buy any of those now, but like I'm at the point where I'm like, I have like a shit ton of those, and I'm really I like the handmade guys on Etsy or Instagram that are single craftsmen that put these together, right? And so that's kind of what I'm into. I bought like some antique Dunhill pipes, and anybody who's a pipe guy would know what that is, but those are can be expensive, but I got my birth year. I got a 1944 patent Dunhill pipe too. And I got, just something like, I got some stuff that's like,
yeah, cool.
Like you check off your pipe enthusiast checkbox, right? But in general though, like you could get a corncob pipe for like $12 and it'd be like fine. And you could use it forever. Yeah. Anyway. So 2023, Brian.
Kind of a weird year.
Oh, dude.
From start to finish, right? Like
bizarre, man.
Of course, the biggest milestone of 2023, the premiere of R&B Talks.
I was looking at the headlines for the top headlines on like NPR and CSNBC and all that stuff, and they did mention it. I was shocked.
It wasn't probably in the top 5, but it was in the mix, right?
This is fake news.
I know
what this means. They didn't.
Well, hey man, if MSNBC can do it, CNN can do it. Fox News can do it. Why can't we do it? Right?
Why can't they all do it? Speaking of top headlines,
hit me with it.
So I looked at just real quick. So let's see who would be a good one to look at here. I think NPR is a joke. So let's go to this is a place called Scripps News.
Mm-hmm.
Scripps News. I have no idea who that is. So let's see. January 2nd, Bills safety Damar Hamlin revived on field. Oh, the Bills.
Yeah, I remember that dude. Yeah, I remember. I was actually watching that game, dude. That was
okay.
That was some rough pumpkins, dude. When he went down, that was scary, super scary. And now he's back, man. He's back playing again. That might have been my retirement party, dude. When I almost died.
That'd be a wake up. Like,
yeah.
That'd make you reevaluate for sure.
For sure.
January 7th, Kevin McCarthy elected House Speaker.
That didn't last long.
No, that was a mess. They even say that in the little blip here.
Yeah.
February 3rd, Norfolk Southern train derails in East Palestine, Ohio.
Yes.
I remember that like being such a, what the, going on. Cause it was like toxic this and that. And then people are like going, what? And then there was like the water was contaminated, but they said it wasn't. They said that this and that. It was a mess, dude.
Well, I think the thing that bothered me the most about that was how the train company tried everything they could to basically deny that anything was wrong, that anything bad was going down, while people were freaking getting sick, man. Like, it's not like they were imagining it.
No.
And it wasn't like it was happening before the train derailment, right? Like, it wasn't. There wasn't this and then the train derailment, and it just made it worse.
Dude, you saw those videos of the water and stuff.
Oh,
it was
dude,
like,
it's awful.
What the hell, right?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Right? Fools.
February 4th.
Yes.
U.S. shoots down Chinese spy balloon.
Dude, you know what I remember most about that is the hillbillies with their 30-06s thinking that their rifle could reach the spy balloon. Dude, The 30-06 that you sighted in your backyard was not going to pop that spy balloon. And the fact that there was a bunch of them out there, and they were like, God dang it, Edna, I'm going to get me a spy balloon.
Martha, watch it here. We'll get a brownie on this one.
Wow. I'm going to be an American hero. No, you're not.
What were they at? What was it? Because they usually fly at what? Like at almost the stratosphere or something. Yeah. It's like 60,000 feet or something. Like, because they're higher than commercial aircrafts and stuff.
If you might have had a good 50 cal.
No. You ain't going.
You might have.
You ain't going those 60,000 feet. And
well, it wasn't 60,000 feet.
Well, I know that the balloon wasn't, but I'm saying if you're seeing, for one, you ain't going to see it.
Yeah.
Two, that'd be a hell of a zoom rate on your. I mean, no.
Fair enough, right? Fair enough.
Alex Murdaugh sentenced to life in prison on March 3rd.
Got what he deserved.
Yeah.
Guilty of murder. Sorry about his luck.
March 12th, regional banks fail, prompting federal intervention.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm going to make a prediction in our probably not so distant future. You're going to see some more of that going down.
Look, I'll say this again. Government should not bail out anybody.
No. Obama shouldn't have bailed out the car companies.
Nope.
None of it should have been done.
The way the system is supposed to work is that failures equal opportunity. That's how that works.
When one goes away, another one comes to play. And that's how the capitalism works, right? You have your time on top. Some people are stronger and last longer. Sears would be a great example. Sears was an amazing company for many, many years, did a whole lot of good things, but it just can't, to me, Sears kind of came to its natural end. And then along came everything else, right? Amazon and everything else. It was just a natural progression. Not that I have anything against Sears. I mean, my grandparents, most of what they owned came from Sears, but you can't be on top forever.
March 17th, Taylor Swift begins Massive the Eras tour. Now,
I'm not even going to talk about that.
No,
she drives me nuts.
I will say, though, I don't like Taylor Swift. I never have. I don't like how she dresses on stage. I don't like how she presents herself. Her songs are stupid. But I mean, the amount of revenue that she's generated is unreal. And I just don't understand.
Well, and it's
don't get it, man.
Here's the worst thing I have about Taylor Swift. I don't dislike or like her because that takes energy. I invest my time and energy into people, or especially in the music industry. I am a bit of a music buff, you know that. I invest my time in music that I feel like has the ability to stand the test of time, right? It's a very commonly used example, but an example nonetheless. Led Zeppelin. Doesn't matter what you do, Zeppelin's always going to be a classic band. They're always going to sound good. There's always going to be a place for their music.
Yeah.
In a decade, I don't think anybody will be talking about Taylor Swift.
I don't know, dude. I mean, other than like shows she's done, she's like made this much money and done this much, Let's see. I'm looking at other sites too, besides just this one. Okay, the Tucker Carlson was ousted April 24th.
Yeah, tell me what you thought of that. Tell me about what you thought of that whole deal.
Let me tell you what I thought about it. I didn't care. Like, I never was into Tucker Carlson. I never watched his show. I never watched that. I don't watch mainstream media at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
So when he was fired, I'm just like, well, whatever. I mean, because I really didn't care. Now I understand about all the, like, I read about what all the stuff was, but like, I mean, I just don't care.
Doesn't matter.
No. Well, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter. Okay. There's some stuff about that does matter, but like, it's I'm just not interested in it.
The reason I asked you that question was I'm not necessarily a Tucker Carlson fan or not a Tucker Carlson fan, but what I can tell you that I did see in that was the utter on fire hypocrisy of mainstream media.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly why I didn't pay attention to
it. But to me, it just was kind of like, we're going to spotlight how hypocritical that the mainstream media is. And that was just a very blatant case of it.
Here's on another site, the Hollywood writers go on strike disrupting the entertainment industry. That was on May 2nd.
Yeah. Can we promise you that I could care less about that?
Yeah, I know. I hear you on that one. Oh, here's one. No, that's not it at all. Where was it? Yeah. U.S. recovered non-human biologics from UFO crash sites. Former Intel officials say. That was on July 27th.
All right. So I got to know, like, all right, Reggie. So do you believe that this was either a hoax perpetrated by the government to kind of pull the spotlight off of our failing presidential moron? Or
Yes.
do you actually think there is some merit to it?
I really don't. I don't believe in UFOs, dude.
Well, but here's my thing, right?
Not
like,
UFO. I shouldn't say UFOs.
I don't think. I think that there's probably, all right. So it depends on how you define life, right? Like life on other planets. Like they just got a video back from water on Mars. So for there to be water, there has to be some sort of life, right?
Well, like microbes.
Is there like a dude
No.
hanging out on Uranus?
No.
I'm sorry, that was terrible.
But yeah. but no. No, I don't. I don't think there's like intelligent life anywhere else in the universe. I think that this is a unique thing.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because God created everything to illuminate how big he is. The universe is immensely and as vast as it is to illuminate him as a creator. Nothing else.
Fair enough. I feel
like
that's a good
we
answer.
are designed and created in his image. It's not like totally unbiblical to like have another intelligent race or something, I guess, but that's like, you know, that's out of bounds. I mean, I guess I'm just saying that's just a weird complexity.
Just to give you another layer to this one, I was listening to a conversation in a podcast between two guys.
Okay.
And one was a ardent atheist and the other one was a former Christian who had become, I want to say Buddhist. And the atheist said, he goes, how can you say that we're the only life? Because there are obviously other species created before us. And he used angels as the kind of the cast of other species. He says, because before humans, God created angels. Well, he believes that angels still, he said, well, if angels still exist, wouldn't that be proof of there being separate species? I don't know how much merit goes to that, but I thought it was an interesting comment to make, right? I don't know if it was worth a lead nickel, but you know what I'm saying? So it was an interesting thing to hear him say, but
we don't have species of human.
Yeah.
Right. So he like we have species of apes.
Mm-hmm.
There's like different dogs, different all that, but there's not species of humans. There's just one human. That's the thing. We're not split up in all this nonsense. There's one. Because we were the chosen creation.
Okay.
So
actually, I agree with that.
You
okay.
know,
go ahead.
Hold on. I'm trying to find. That's a terrible site too. Let me. Where was the other one? There was another. Oh, here's. I don't like any of these. All right, well, let's go back here. So the May 5th, COVID-19 no longer considered global health emergency. Moving on.
No comment.
Let's see. Oh, June 18th. The Titan submersible goes missing. Of course, we all know it imploded.
Yes. I thought that was pretty tragic. Like, I mean, you know, they were trying to do something, you know, I guess to discover something new, and some people died, man. It felt like it was pretty tragic. I also can say that there's certain risk in doing things like that. And unfortunately, those risks manifested and some people died, man. It's not a good thing.
Here's what I'll say about that. I don't care how much people paid. I don't care who they were. I mean, it's I really think that it's just, now this whole thing, since hindsight now, we know that I can't remember his name now, who built it and all this stuff. I mean, took some shortcuts and did some things he probably shouldn't have.
Very much true.
All this kind of stuff. So, I mean, look, that was really his, he's got a lot of blame there. Of course, he paid for it. So there's that. But yeah, I just think it was just, no, it's just
kind of awful.
No. So we have, July 25th. Interest rates jumps to highest level in 22 years.
Okay, so I think we need to put this in perspective. So when you bought a house in like the 60s and 70s, the interest rates were like between 18 and 22%. That was average, right? Like that was every day. We got down to 3%, which was unheard of. And now it's balanced back out. I think the last time I looked at it was 7.2%. I don't really feel like this is as big a deal as people have made it out to be. We kind of rode the gravy train with biscuit wheels for a while, right? Now the gravy train with biscuit wheels is just the train. It's still not 18%. Everybody needs to relax a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's ebb and flow of all this stuff, but at the same token, I mean, I look at it like it's artificially raised and lowered anyway. Call that the conspiracy theory, not to me, but no, all the stuff with inflation and the way the interest rates are, I think it's all just a freaking Ponzi scheme anyway. So I don't care.
Of course it is.
October 7th, Hamas launches the terror attack on Israel.
Bruh.
I know.
The more I read about that, and the more I realize the level of divisiveness that has caused, even up until today, that is probably the most heartbreaking thing that's happened, in my opinion, this year, as far as, being a Christian, that's God's chosen people, bro. Like the guy that dropped dead after saying that Allah is going to bring death and unmerciful destruction, and then you drop dead from heart attack. Bro, if you didn't believe in God up to that point, you ought to now, because he went out there and he challenged him, and God dropped him like a bad habit. And dude, you just got to be careful, man. Don't challenge the Riz, baby.
So I know, man. I mean, there's obviously a lot more that went on in 2023, but like, I guess I just look back on it. I mean, like, coming out of the pandemic and stuff, and like, we're still kind of in a state of restoration, I think. I mean, just because how that was handled was so freaking poor, and people just were nuts. So I mean, it's going to take a while for like all this stuff. Now, I mean, you could go even farther with that and say it was all a practice for another action that's going to take a global step, blah, blah, blah. But
there's always going to be a conspiracy theory. There's always going to be someone who claims that this is going to be this.
The problem is that the conspiracy theories are turning out to be proven true.
Well,
like we
this
keep saying
this is my advice. You want to make sure you're all right, then you get right with God.
Well, yeah. I mean,
get right with God, settle your affairs, take care of your family, be a good person.
Now, so on that note, I have seen an exuberant amount of end time prophecy stuff.
Absolutely.
Now, look, you always have that going on, but it seems like it's been a lot. And I just want to tell people, like, from a real, just average Joe kind of perspective, nobody knows.
Nobody's gonna know.
No, we're not gonna know. I mean, look, it's really easy to prepare. It's really easy. You just say, you say, oh, the Jesus guy, I like him. I'm going to follow him. I'm going to try to be like him. But that's it. But look, I mean, Oh, it drives me nuts when you see all these people. We have the seventh coming of this, and you equate all this stuff. And look, some of it's interesting, but a lot of it's just horse shit. And I just don't.
Well, here's the biggest problem for me is, and this is where I struggle with people interpreting the Bible, right? Like, if you're good, you can take the Bible and make it sound like anything you want it to sound like. But what you really need to do is access the verse. He will come like a thief in the night. No one but the Father knows, right? So we're not going to know. So all this time that we're spending guessing,
you could spend doing other things.
You could spend doing other things. Absolutely. You could spend, loving your family and getting to know other people and talking to them about you and what you believe,
shredding
and
up your
helping
hand with
them.
your wife putting up a fence.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
I know.
But I mean, there's so much wasted. I feel like there is a ton of wasted inertia and energy in this that, and look, I'm not saying that maybe he is, man. Maybe he is, but look, maybe he isn't. But I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah, I mean,
guessing.
Just know he is.
Yeah, eventually.
That's it. I mean, like, don't wait tomorrow. I mean, just why? I mean, I guess for me, it's like the fact that he's coming back. Well, if I'm a non-believer person, then I don't believe that either. So that's not going to make them suddenly decide, because he's coming back. They're not going to believe any of that's real anyway.
No.
I mean, if we think about it, it's all about living out Christ's teaching in your world, in your community, in your family, and then letting that propagate itself out by you being Christ to somebody else. I mean, that's really what it's about. It's just about you. You are the only Jesus some of these people are ever going to see.
Let me break it down even simpler for you.
Break it down.
Hate takes energy. Love takes energy. Which one would you rather spend your energy doing? Loving people or hating people? Instead of grinding away at figuring out ways to dislike the person next to you, do what Christ tells you to do and love your enemy like you love yourself.
Yeah, man.
Right?
That's all it's all about.
And I got to say this, the last couple of weeks, man, because I've mentioned this in several of our episodes. I've been really frustrated with the discourse lately. A lot of irate people, but thankfully, man, I've run into some folks the last couple of weeks completely on the opposite end of the spectrum than I am, as far as what they believe and why they believe it. But I've been able to have really beneficial conversation with those people in a calm manner where we've shared ideas, right? We've talked about what we believe. And even though I planted the seed, I did what I was told, I told them who I was and what I believed, we were able to walk away still respecting each other, right? And which in my opinion leaves the discourse open for further conversation, right? And I've had several of those over the last couple of weeks, right? And that's been a very big blessing for me because that's been my frustration across the whole year. Anytime you disagree with somebody, they're ready to take your head off. In the last few weeks, I've ran into some really just reasonable folks who are willing to listen, and we're glad that I was willing to listen. They didn't change my mind. I don't know if I changed theirs. I can't save anybody. Only God can save, but I can plant the seed, right? And it's been great. And that's what we need more of, is that simple discourse, right? Let's talk. Let's just talk, right? And let's agree to disagree if we don't find the same spot. But I don't have the energy to hate people, man. Yeah. I just don't. It takes too much. It takes too big a piece of me to hate somebody.
Yeah.
So I have to believe that either this discourse problem is just going to get worse into the next year, or everybody's going to get really tired of the conflict, and they're going to choose to take a different route.
I did see, I forgot who it was. There's a Instagram. Who was it? I can't remember. Angry Patriot Media or something like that.
Angry Patriot Media.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
That
what
was
it
on
was.
fire before we even get started.
I know. But they had to. They were talking about how it seems like there's a definite culture shift from, the nonsense is everybody's done.
Yeah,
done with it
for sure.
Speaking of nonsense.
Okay.
Rebel Moon, Part 1. It's on Netflix.
Is it good?
I'll use your favorite term. Utter garbage.
Really? Because it got a lot of hype. I haven't watched it yet. Now I'm not going to watch it.
Garbage.
What's it about?
Dude, I don't even know. That's it's just Zack Snyder was, so that's why I watched it, because I'm like,
I love Zack Snyder.
Well, his Justice League cut
the director's cut was
freaking. Now I had to watch it over like 8 sessions.
Well, it is 6 hours long, right? So,
but it's amazing, right? I mean, because the first one was like really cut up, and you're kind of like, what? But that director's cut's freaking fire, man. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so it's directed well, right? It looks cool. It sounds cool. There's like the music's cool, but the lead chick, that's the Shiro, is terrible in it. I just didn't like her acting or at all. It's definitely like it doesn't need to be that way. And I'm not hating on women heroes. I'm just saying it's been way done. Like, I'm done with the female lead hero character movie thing, that trying to be an action hero and all this stuff, while at the same time trying to be a sex symbol, while at the same time trying to be nurturing, or at the same time trying to be all this. No, it doesn't work for me. No, I hate it. It's annoying. Like, 1 or 2 of those, like, okay, cool, right? Whatever. You fulfill like some women empowerment crap. Great. But it's like everything has this women, and then the man is this coward crap on the side. Mm-hmm. Well, there's Rebel Moon for you, right? It's just, and it's just no. And I mean, we watched all of it, and me and my wife paused it like about 4 or 5 times to make fun of it. That's what I mean, we did.
I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall for that.
Yeah, I mean,
legitimately.
Really, the only reason why that movie stayed on is because it looked cool. The way it looked was really cool. The way it was shot was cool. The way it sounded was cool.
Well, I think a lot of the current movies are still, I mean, Hollywood is still Hollywood, right? So they're going to be, I mean, even if you go back to the 80s and the 90s when movies were good, Hollywood was still on the fringe of ideology and all the things that went on. And it's just, as the ideologies have gotten wilder and more, in my opinion, they call it progressive. I call it much more regressive, right?
Well, I
because
do
it's
too.
not,
I mean, it's not,
they've gone into this regressive ideology where they've bought the book of feminism, third wave and all, and they are literally trying to, I feel like a lot of times they're trying to influence how people think, right? By pushing these regressive ideologies that are, we're going to break out of the mainstream. Dude, it's the mainstream that pays to watch your movies. So if you're going to do something stupid and your movies don't do well, boo on you, man, for doing something stupid.
Look at the Jason Bourne movies.
Yeah, so great.
Right? I mean, come on. Look, it's not complicated.
Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah, same thing. I actually tried to go back and watch the first one. I couldn't make it through.
I've seen
it wasn't bad. It's just it just wasn't interesting. But no, Rebel Moon, total garbage. Don't do it. It's just dumb. Now look. I'll say this. It wasn't a waste of 2.5 hours that I did, but it's definitely not something I'm like glad I watched either.
And
right?
You're waiting for a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like Dune?
Oh,
the new Dune, right?
The new Dune was so good.
Oh,
so good.
Fire. And then so waiting for that sequel is like pissed me off.
Well, you know what's crazy about the new Dune movie? I don't feel like there was, even as far out as they reached for some of the actors in that movie, like Dave Bautista, they all did really well. Like, I don't feel like there was any weak link in that movie. Like, it was well acted all the way through.
I loved it, dude.
So good.
Loved it.
So freaking good.
So anyway, let's see. So 2044.
2044? Dude, I hope to be retired by 2044.
Dude, I don't know if I'm ever going to retire, but
yeah, that's true. You just made me sad for a second.
I know. I'm sorry, dude. 2024, man. What we're, so here's a couple things that we're looking to do.
Okay.
One of those is a look, and I don't know if we'll do the whole thing, but we want to do some Truth Project watching and discussing.
I would think that would be great. I would really like to get into talking about what it really means to be a fool, right? On the not a fool like a jester, but a fool like a fool that falls for all the things that fools fall for.
Indeed.
I feel like that's a great subject to kind of delve into. What else, man? Probably some more reaction videos eventually.
Yeah, I think. Those are fun to do. Yeah. But I would like to. Since that was our first foray into that. I actually really like doing those movie trailers. I thought that was awesome.
That was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got some things that we need to do too, because I would like to maybe move how we do this to a different room. But I don't know if that's going to be, I don't know.
I'd like to have a guest. Maybe start having a few guests.
I would like to have guests. That'd be cool.
Maybe we get somebody, phone guests, call-in guests, things like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that we want to talk about. Of course, there's always something going on, so it's not like we.
Yeah, I'm sure that society will give us lots of fresh fodder for us to discuss.
But yeah, I think we're good. I mean,
I would like to give a shout out to all the people that have liked our episodes, to listen to us, all the people that have disliked our episodes and listened to us, all the people that have tried to argue with us. We're glad you guys are listening, and we hope you're telling people about this and that encouraging them to listen. And, I appreciate all of you, every one of you.
Well, let me just to tack on to that. This is not our job.
Yeah, not at all.
Right. We this is something we have to make time for in the midst of everything else. This is not, don't make any money off of this. It's not even monetized right now.
Yeah. But that should tell you how seriously we take this, that we would carve out time every week to make time to make this happen. Right. That how important we think this is.
Yeah.
So.
Well, not that we think we are that important, but
no, not at all.
It's just, it's fun to do. Two,
we do laugh a lot. Yeah.
And look, we're just average people. So you get a lot of perspective on the, out in the interwebs of people who want to pontificate their greatness, but we're just real.
Yeah. We're just who we are, man.
Now, yes, I have some education and I've read a lot, but that I don't qualify that as being a scholar or anything else like that. Right. I mean, it's just a matter of, I work in corporate reality. I have kids. I we do the things, so.
Well, and I'm just a guy that I read a lot and I listen a lot. Like I'm a guy that when I find something that's of interest to me, I chase it, find out all the information I can, grow as much as I can, become as educated as I can. Doesn't make me an expert, just makes me somebody who, is very interested in me. By the way, the newest episode of Rogan, you need to listen. It's a mind blower, man. It's a mind blower.
Mind blower. I haven't listened to it.
It's an epic. It really delves in deep into big pharma and some things that are going on that we don't even know about. The guy that's hosting it, or the guy that's the guest, so awesome, such an amazing, guest to have. Prepared information. It is like I'm halfway through it and my head is spinning from the things that are happening out there through big pharma and everything that's going on. But anyway, I'd also like to I'd like to send a shout out to all those guys that are out there doing it with us, man. The Joe Rogans, the Jordan Petersons, the Jocko Willinks, all those guys that are putting, these guys are they may not be your cup of tea on a personal level, but taking the time to listen to them and learn from them, you're going to hear other perspectives and you're going to hear things and educate yourself on things, man. Hopefully we educate you a little bit. I don't know if we do, maybe we don't, but take the time in your life, man, to listen. We're so busy burning on media, right? And falling into Facebook and Instagram and all those things. And there's nothing, I'm not knocking those things, right? There's a place for those things, but take some time to sit down and listen to some civil people having some civil discourse and talking about some relevant issues. And you're going to be really shocked and surprised how many truths you uncover by just being willing to open up your ears and listen. Right, 2023 has been a big year for that. Hopefully 2024, man, is just going to be even more, right?
Yep. We're on B-Talks.
That's right. Guys, do me a favor. Have a safe and happy new year, right? We're two guys. These are two mics. See you later.
See you in 2024.
That's right. Happy New Year.
Ah, get it. Ah. Later.
Bye.